There are many launches in the world of Minecraft, each of which offers its own unique opportunities to launch the game. Today we will talk about the FLauncher, the little-known, but long-existing launcher, who never sought to compete with popular solutions like TLauncher or expected TLauncher. While most players choose a widely advertised product, FLauncher quietly exists in their own poverty. Well, in short, what you are soaring, you can still say, which attracts a small but stable audience. After our detailed analysis of TLauncher problems, many users began to look for alternatives, and also offer me to skin FLauncher. Well, I have FLauncher on the second list, then TLauncher, when they have a new version. And FLauncher was often mentioned as one of the options. That is why today we will study in detail the legal aspects and potential risks of its use. But what, with so far from small? Let's start our analysis with the benefits from the FLauncher agreement. Here is a site with a pleasant design and a convenient interface. But let's look carefully at what is hidden behind a beautiful wrap. I will go to each clause of the agreement and explain why you should be a little careful. Well, again, if you read it, if not a garbage, then listen. Let's start with point 3.1. This is what is written there. Companion company. The right to transfer the rights and obligations under this agreement of the customer company in order to execute this agreement without the additional consent of the user. It sounds like harmless at all, right? You yourself understood me at all what I said there? And yes, too confused, I agree. But let's figure out what it really is. Imagine that you give your data to one company. And she, without your knowledge, can pass them on to anyone. It's as if you trusted your diary for a friend, and he took and handed it to an accidental passerby. Under the law on the protection of personal data, the company is obliged to receive consent to the transfer of your data to third parties. But here they cunningly bypass these requirements through the agreement. We move on. Point 3.2. The user, agreeing with this scam, gives his information and voluntary consent to participate in stimulating, advertising, marketing and other events. And here it really becomes even more interesting. When installing the launcher, you automatically become a participant in all advertising campaigns, servers there, or not even servers, but some left-wing campaigns, even worse to the launcher. Note, there is not a single word of the opportunity to refuse it. They can fill you with advertising, and you have already given consent to this. It is how to sign a newsletter from which you cannot get out. In the modern world, where our mailboxes are already crowded with spam, this is especially unpleasant. Unless of course you read them. If you read spam, then I have questions for you, and now to the most funny and the most delicious. Point 3.7. The executor does not guarantee the safety of the files downloaded through the application. Think. They directly say that they are not responsible for the security of the files. It's the same as saying in the store, there, we sell products, but we do not guarantee that they are not spoiled. Anything can go through the launcher. Viruses, trojans, miners, and in the case of an infection of the computer, you are left alone with the problem because the company took off all the responsibility in advance. Therefore, do not get to them with your claim. And then here, of course, in the point they indicated, if anything, about 3.8. Now listen, and then at some point I will tell you where they are now violating him in full. That is, where they did not indicate this in the agreement, but they have it. Fine? Fine. The executor has the right to collect, store and process static information about the user use of the application, which includes general data on the user system. That is, the name of the operating room, versions, the number of ASU, the model of the CPU. Well, that is, in fact, they get full access to information about your computer. Why should the launcher know your information in general, that is, your system, more computation? It seems that you say, oh, it's normal, this is for scanners, but later you will understand that somewhere you are with this search for an agreement, because in some places they are not. They did not indicate the line that they collect accounts, passwords. All this was not indicated. Do not indicate. They just cut it out in some places, although it would be more logical to insert it. That is, they already violate their policy of the agreement, or. But point 3.5 and 3.6 add oil to the fire. The executing company reserves the right to limit access and terminate these agreements at any time. That is, at any time, without warning, you can simply be disconnected from the service. Imagine that you are in the middle of an important game or download, and suddenly bam, access is closed. And you can't do anything about it, because you agreed with this point when installing. And finally, pay attention to the items, 5.1 and 5.3. About links to third-party sites. The company claims that it does not check these links and is not responsible for their detention. That is, you can be safely redirected to some left site with advertising or nothing with something. Or a page with malicious software. And the company will say, well, we warned you, we are not to blame for this, you're what you are. No, we warned you. And so, what do we have? The launcher who collects your data, well, regarding the system, but in general, the data actually did not finish it in some places, then I will help them. You can transmit them to anyone does not guarantee security overflowing with advertisements, although somewhere in the beginning it is indicated that without advertising. Here is somewhere a new rise here, and can turn off you at any time. And all this is enshrined in the search agreement, which few reads. Maybe you should think about whether you are really ready to accept all these risks for using such a launcher. Or not. While I think the above arguments are quite convincing, if you have questions or objections, we invite you to discuss the server or Telegram to our Discord channel. However, note that an unreasonable or aggressive commentary on YouTube will be deleted. More precisely, I will just block those. Well, really, Bali, you are already like that. That is, without any real evidence, you do not kill. Simply, without even watching the video. I am personally interested in constructive dialogue, and not in protecting dubious software. And now let's talk about the launcher itself. After installation, it looks pretty decent, but there are several serious problems. And by the way, here it is the first. For a note, sandboxes, and if more precisely, the logistics did not immediately work. I had to spend about 2 hours on this crap for about 2 hours, to at least fix it, because they managed to bypass it. And firstly, the user reports on problems with the performance of the system. Secondly, remember the situation with TLauncher and their data collection method. FLauncher, unfortunately, goes along the same path. Yes, the interface looks familiar, but I am not ready to risk my data for this XP, nor. Well, in general, this is complete XP, Naya. You are launcher, I'm found, you are launcher. I advise you to refuse them. Well, the new one still has not come from Kabancher, so we just look forward to the update from them. And now, there will be just a chic theater. Some can now criticize me for talking about data collection, but I want to remind me, I never recommended using licensed accounts in pirate, and even in cheat launches. The hidden data collection that are not indicated in the policy of the agreement is especially alarming, and confidentiality. Unfortunately, I cannot show the source code in the video due to possible copyright problems, but believe my experience, in the same damn region. And therefore, I decided to rewrite it on Rust. Of course you say, what am I? That is, you just took the code itself, and rewrote it a little to Rust. And you don't think it is different. No, I, in theory, rewrote only the structure. Well, that is, I rewrote so that you really understand how it works approximately. But to show him, they can scorch me, and you will begin, oh, you get excited waved. Believe me, there were many cases when the author showed the code. They were immediately removed quickly in one fell swoop, and just there I will explain the full approximate work of this particular launcher himself if you don't understand it now on this frame. That is, I show you approximately. Then I will leave it in my place with fasting and with comments, so that you understand in detail how it works and how it acts. Moreover, launcher's behavior is very reminiscent of work is glad. This is clearly generally abnormal.
Minute. Information. Or rather remote assist Ryan. This is a type of an exponent software, and if again, this is more precisely, it is a virus that allows the attackers to control your computer from afar, as if he was sitting in front of your screen. After installation, the lover gets access to your computer. He can see what you are doing, use your files, read, copy, or even delete them, turn on a webcam, microphone, or even control your computer, as if it were his own computer. And also the peculiarity is that it often works in the background, without showing any signs that they are there. They can be disguised as ordinary programs or not at all visible. That is, they are hidden under your task dispatcher or resource monitor if you are a Windows user. It's like if I quietly climbed into your house and began to create something there, eat, and such other things, and you won't even guess about it. To avoid such troubles, just do not download something, and please do not let the Arabs to yourself, or you will be a law copper.
When I disassembled this lacquer alone, one interesting team came with one interesting company, and they suggested a lot about their little help there. Just help. Of course, I was surprised by this, help, and they are with a real company. But damn it, I was really surprised. But this is not the point. Therefore, we have collected general information, and now I will tell you everything. And we are also using Macbeathix.
This is a database and a model that helps to understand how attackers attack computer systems. Here is an explanation for those who do not understand this at all. Solometer is an organization that studies in the field of technology and safety, but attack is a reduction from adversarial Texas techniques and common knowledge. What does tactics, technology, and general knowledge of opponents mean? In short, they can catch the Arabs and tell you how the viewer knew about Delphods.
Data theft and surveillance. More precisely, a Kaiser. More precisely, recording of keystrokes. The question is, where did I find it? And again, I will indicate precisely these lines. Do not be surprised, okay? Firstly, this is a string with that is, all passwords, messages, data, bank cards, and other things. I was also dipped by password search. More precisely, a string with the technique of T. The program is looking for that there is saved passwords in your browser or even in the system. It is as if someone was looking for a notebook with your passwords, or with the OnlyFans account. Heh, but my account is always open, so what to ski? Collection of systemic information. Well, here they have already indicated the policy of the agreement. Well, again I repeat, a string with the technique of T10-2. Pay attention to the number 17. This, you see, is 17. This is the number of different types of information collected. That is, if we take what they listed, this is clearly less than 17. That is, less than 17. Here, once again, this is what they listed, calculate how much it comes out. And here is the figure is 17. Nothing confuses you? Well, I don't know that this is less collected than it is actually indicated, after a complete check. Not? I think yes, this is very strange. What does it mean? That is, the program collects everything about your computer as a spy that takes pictures of every corner of your home. Now let's talk about camouflage and detection. Firstly, hidden windows. A string with T1569 T15900 is 03. This is already suspicious. And the question, what is she doing? Well, what does it mean at all? The program can work invisibly. This is a sign in your computer. Fuck, I remembered phasmophobia for some reason. I don't know, I have associations with this. Here write in the comments, what will be the association if you have a ghost at home? This is what you have with which film or game is associated with all this. Then this is a shutdown of protection. A string with T1569 T159.00 alone. It is indicated that the antiviruses and protection of Windows can turn off as a robber that turns off the alarm. Again, this is very suspicious. I'm indicating a real line, not invented, but I wanted a fictional one. Now let's talk about the infection of the system. Firstly, implementation in the system. Line with technology. What does it mean? That the program, embedding other programs, as a parasite into a healthy organism. This is already abnormal. That is, he literally embeds this crap. If anything, you can ignore another double. This double is most important for us. Second, automobile. A string that This means that the program prescribes an auto-loading in different ways, as if creating several copies of the keys from your computer. And the most unpleasant is the transfer of stolen data. Firstly, encryption of communication. It means that they use complex encryption to transmit data as spy-coded messages. That is, literally, your data is already stealing. And you know which one. Even use some special wares. or some other programs. Although there is one program, but damn, YouTube almost amused me for her. I had to rewrite the script. Well, I hope those who understand me will understand me. Further hidden data transfer. A string with technique TTA. And the most unpleasant, protection against research. And more precisely, obstruction, or even more precisely, the confusion of the code itself. Line with it means that the program code is specially confused to make it difficult to study. As if the text were written by a special cipher. And again, the general statistics from me and from the team with which we work together completely. Well, bitch, mostly I work more, because I spent 5 hours, and they are only an hour. Of course, you say that I had little time, but this is precisely continuous work, completely continuous. But if you take 2 hours to the fact that the computer itself worked, it will have 7 hours, and they have an hour. So, what real confirmations do we have? Firstly, we have confirmation that there really are harmful actions. Well, the number is 2, remember where I indicated this. Secondly, suspicious actions, where I turned out to be 30 different techniques. That is, everything that I count, listed, can be considered 30. Of course, you will now recalculate, and there I will, but there is simply part of the technician, let's say, just suspicious. And I pointed out what parts they are really suspicious. And most of all this is already on behalf of the team. These were informative signs, that is, more than 100 indicators. Each of these functions is individually suspicious, and if you collect all this, they leave the functionality of a serious malicious program. Now, if you compare the normal launcher of Minecraft, then he only needs to download the game, start it, and update it if necessary. Everything else is obvious signs of harmful software. Now to your questions. Trust or not? This is your full choice. That is, you can stay with their policy of the agreement, you can remain with their failure, but again, that this is already a cheat launcher is already suspicious. That is, you must understand everything that I told you. If you don't understand anything, you can contact us in Discord or Telegram, write to us on the forum, and we will answer you. Well, or even on Reddit, you can already go like that. And if you start writing something in the comments without watching the video, just block you, yes? I am such an honest person, I am already telling you in advance that I have your whining to the ass. Yes, I say it in direct text, because you really get it. And now the question is how to delete FLauncher even if you have such a question. I already told how to delete such launches. If you do not know, then there is a video about those launches. Look there, well, somewhere at the end, at the moment 21.0. From this moment, start watching, there I told all this. Okay. In short, everyone until new meetings, until new adventures. Bye bye.